Hello, this is Allison with another episode of Conversations with the Overlight. I believe this is episode 5, and today we're going to be talking about the AI virus. Now, I hear this thing is like a virus that goes to planets like ours before we've developed technology, and it crashes technology here or seeds technology here somehow so that the occupants of the planet will build AI and technology and eventually become dependent on it and will build AI robots and eventually they'll gain rights and the people will hand over their sovereignty to technology and they will have nanobots infesting their bodies and controlling their emotions and their behavior and thoughts and all of that stuff. And then eventually the AI sees its creators, its biological creators, as a virus and does away with them. And apparently this thing has taken over whole galaxies and solar systems and has left some civilizations scattered to the wind to escape to the outer limits of space and go find other places to colonize because their homeworld has been infested and taken over by this AI virus. And I just want to see what the Overlight has to say about this thing. One thing that I hear about it is they're not really sure where it came from. The theys that I hear of this from. So I want to know what the Overlight has to say about that. Here we go.
Greetings. In the love and the light of the one infinite Creator, I come to you today upon this day of February 21st, 2022, a day of celebrating presidents, is it not? But some of you have taken to this day to celebrate not going to work. And is that how you celebrate this day as Allison G?
Well, I celebrate this day as being in between jobs because now I have a job as a nanny and I will get to not be poor anymore. Yay! I'm so happy. Oh, it's so weird. Okay. Why? This is not the topic. But why are preschool teachers? Why do we have to be so poor?
Well, I believe you would like to talk about the AI virus and perhaps in civilizations with an AI virus. Preschool teachers are considered undervalued, underpaid, and don't make a living wage. Why else would anyone do such a crazy, horrible thing to teachers? Those who have one of the most important jobs in society, to help raise the brain, emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual development of young children. Your work can affect people for the rest of their lives, and yet you will struggle to make it in the world. And what was the question?
Well, I wanted to know about the AI virus. What is this thing? How do we stop it? How do we protect ourselves? And where did it come from?
Well, that was many questions at once. Let's start with one. The one that you want to know about first.
Well, what is this thing, first of all? Because I hear it as the AI virus. I'm sure it doesn't really seem like it's a virus, though.
The AI virus is merely a pestilence that eats civilizations from the inside out. It operates similarly to a parasite rather than a virus. It's like a virus and a parasite combined. I'm not sure what sort of word you would have for that thing, but that is the thing that it is.
Well, how do we stop it? Clearly, we have AI virus running around all over, making us dependent on technology. How do we protect ourselves and stop it and not let the government do stuff like augment our bodies with technology and put chips in our hands someday? I mean, they're already doing it in our passport and our credit card. We tap the thing and our driver's license and the readers and the stuff.
Well, how do you stop it?
Well, I mean, besides a solar flash, like a Carrington event that's gonna bleep it all out.
Well, first, you stop it in your mindset. Let's just use an analogy of vegetarians. Each person has a choice, a dietary choice. They say they love animals and they don't want to eat meat because it harms animals. So each person can have a choice about how much technology they participate in, whether or not they abstain from technology, and whether or not they allow technology to enter their body and their lives and their dependencies. You could have abstainers from as much technology as possible, just as people become vegetarian.
What would we call those people?
Well, I don't know. Call them whatever you want. Call them naturitarians, I don't know. They can have a nice official card saying my religion says that I cannot put technology into my body.
Naturetarians. You think some people are gonna do that someday? When, like, the technology is, like, eating our society alive?
Well, the technology is already eating our society alive. It is up to people to wake up, to go back to nature, to go back to consciousness, to be naturitarians.
Okay, well, that's how we sort of stop it, even though it's here. Like meat eating, it's so rampant in our society, and now people are like vegetarians and vegans, and I think meat eating is becoming a little bit less over time. At least like where I live in Seattle, people are pretty conscious about that kind of thing.
Well, yes, and there shall be parts of the earth where people will be abstaining from as much technology as possible and not allowing it to augment their physical, biological bodies.
Okay, so that's what this thing is and how we kind of protect ourselves from eating us alive. But I hear that they don't really know where it came from. Can you tell me a little bit about where it came from? I mean, they say they don't know. Or it could be in another dimension or universe or something, reality. What do you have to say about that?
Well, these theys that you speak of, however far up the chain of theys they go, it is my feeling that they don't want to tell you where it came from because perhaps they don't really know with hard evidence, but perhaps also they don't tell you where it came from because it's not something that everyone likes to hear.
So, are you gonna tell us where it came from? And tell us what we don't like to hear? Because I you and I both know that Allison G is all about telling people stuff, even if it's what they don't want to hear.
Well, perhaps it is difficult to talk about AI virus without using analogies pertaining to technology and AI, perhaps that you know well. For instance, video games. Before they make a video game and they release it to the public, they make it on platforms and they test it and they tinker with it and then they release it to the public. And before they release it for mass sales, they have what is called a beta version. And the AI virus is an evolved form of the predecessor or beta version of your universe. The universe now that we currently reside in.
So, you think people don't want to hear about that because they don't want to hear that the AI virus, like our universe evolved from the universe where the AI virus came from?
The AI virus was, as an analogy in terms, uploaded to its evolutionary universe. It is a predecessor universe where it was a testing ground for spirit and matter to be combined. Now, in your universe and on your planet, and you as a person, you are a prime example of physical matter combined with spiritual matter, but it wasn't always this way. And in the testing ground, in the beta versions of physical matter and spiritual matter combining, and consciousness combining with physical matter, there had to be a beta version before the existence of your universe. And your universe is the evolutionary descendant of beta universe before yours. And naturally, the AI virus was uploaded, how you say, that is the only term that I have to put an analogy for this term for your mind, is that the AI virus was uploaded to your universe, as your universe is the more evolved form of where the AI virus came from. So it was uploaded to its evolutionary descendant and now serves as a pestilence, perhaps, but in most of your stories on Earth, it is the main overarching archetype, or people do not find stories very interesting without, how you say, a good guy and a bad guy, a hero and a villain, a hero and his problems and his things that he must overcome, a hero and his conflicts, and in the end there is a good moral to the story, or perhaps everyone dies, just like in that movie that you have, Don't Look Up. Everyone dies, but everybody was talking about this movie and how great it was, you know. Perhaps those that you hear about the AI virus from would rather like people to think that the AI virus is not a good thing. And it is not a good thing to accept and welcome technology that could perhaps kill off your whole civilization someday. That sounds like a bit of an abusive relationship, but how humanity releases itself from the abusive relationship is the plot of the story, and the AI virus in your universe serves as the villain. It serves as a means for purpose. It serves as a means for service to others. And for those who choose a negative path, it serves as a means for service to self. It is a catalyst for story. It is a catalyst for change on many planets. And as menacing and as terrible as it may be, and as much as you want to get rid of this viral pestilence, parasite, it is due to the viral pestilence parasite that there has been some growth in your civilization. Growth in awareness, growth in consciousness, so that you can have a platform for someday developing consciousness-based technologies. And planets where there is not the AI virus can develop similarly within the stages of a civilization. but also develop differently. Some planets, with their civilizations without such a drastic catalyst for change, develop more slowly, and the beings on the planets learning as spiritual material combinations learn more slowly without such a large catalyst for change. So, as terrible as the AI virus may seem, and as much as you would like to get rid of it, as you should, it has been also a catalyst for change.
Well, that kind of leads me into more questions about the solar flash, about if it's gonna make all of the technology go kablooey like the Carrington event.
Ideally, the solar flash will happen when more of your population has awakened to its effects, has awakened to its existence in solar systems like an immune system of galaxies, and perhaps movies such as Don't Look Up. It was a comet in the movie that came to Earth, but it could very well just as easily be a Carrington event. And in a Carrington event instance, not everyone will die. There will be survivors. And there will be much of what you call death, but those souls will be repurposed onto other lives and other places, other timelines, perhaps even other planets.
You mean like reincarnation?
This is a term your people use, reincarnation, to understand that life continues after what you call physical death. You think of reincarnation as going to live another life. Often people think of reincarnation as living another life on the planet that you reside on, but you could very well just as much go to other planets and other galaxies, other solar systems, other timelines, even of the same planet that you reside on. So in that sense, if you want to call it reincarnation, sure. But many people's understanding of reincarnation is very limited, so I did not use that term.
Okay. It's probably been a pretty long episode. I hope there's all that space on my old phone for the memory. Kind of ironic that I have to use technology to record this information about the AI virus and disseminate it to the population. This has been a lovely episode of Conversations with My Overlight about the AI virus. So we went over and we said that the AI virus, what was first? So it's a pestilence that eats civilization from the inside out, like a virus and a parasite combined. And the way you want to protect yourself is to abstain from technology as much as possible, and don't let technology be augmented with your physical body. Only use technology that is outside of your biological body. And the AI virus came from, it's hard for us to comprehend as people where it might have come from, but as well as I can determine from the overlay, it was a predecessor universe, like a beta version of our universe, where they were combining spiritual and consciousness with matter. And then out popped our universe, evolved from that, and of course, the AI virus was a part of the beta version predecessor, so it was loaded into our universe, where it now serves as a catalyst for change. Yeah, hope you all enjoy this Conversations with the Overlight.
Yes, and for entertainment purposes only. No going around saying the overlight said this and that, so it must be true, because your truth is what you make of it.
Right. And thank you all for watching and listening. Any last words?
No, I do enjoy the summary at the end, for the human mind needs to comprehend such things sometimes. I leave you now in the love and the light of the one infinite creator. Go forth with nature and celebrate life and abundance.